Should you be worried if you're single? It's a really important question to ask. And the answer is yes and no. I believe that a lot of people are in relationships because they feel that they need to. Something about getting into your 30s that you need to be married and having children. But that doesn't work for everybody, and not everybody's on that same journey. And I think a lot of people get the feeling that there's something wrong with them because they don't fit that particular mold. But I've got good news for you. If you feel that everybody else is finding love and you haven't been able to, I'm going to share with you some incredible top tips. Because I am the emotional expert. I've been helping people change their thinking about love, about life, about a lot of things, and specializing in hypnosis for over 27 years. The combination of the techniques that I use can really help people shift their thinking about finding love. But going back to the single thing, you know what? I often say to people, if you could be a fly on the wall in my clinic just for a few hours, you would realize that a lot of people actually are really unhappy in their relationships. They may profess to be happy, and I'm not here to judge anybody by any stretch of the imagination. But really, when it comes down to, there is, of course, no perfect relationship. But a relationship that's good for you, for your self-esteem, is really the priority. And that's really one of the most important top tips I can share. If you have been in relationships where there's been a lot of criticism, perhaps being, picking on your dress sense or your weight or your whatever, that's a really good sign that that person's not right for you. And I think a lot of people, because they decide that they want to have a relationship, the desire to want one doesn't really match with the person that they meet. And often, I find that couples, they get together because they're lonely, and that's a good reason, but there still has to be some sort of common ground. You don't have to have the same likes or hobbies or anything like that. But what's great about my program, Cracking the Love Code, is really about shifting that sense of attracting love rats, right? So in fact, the other day I was talking to a friend of mine about being single. And I just said to her, she's in her 50s, she's just recently separated. And I just said to her, it's absolutely fine doing all the internet dating. It's fantastic because, it's one of the most obvious ways to meet people these days. But you know what? You've got to really work on the energy of that person. If you meet somebody and there's just something doesn't feel right, you've got to listen to your intuition because your intuition's always right. And this particular friend of mine, she was just saying, I met this guy and he seemed really great, but there was just something about him. And I just said to him, remember that something about him. Because a lot of people settle in relationships that are just not good for them. So think about, being single as an opportunity to explore who is really right for you. Because you don't want to be in a relationship where you feel lonely, bored, or in particular, you're not feeling good enough, because relationships should be about integrity. The thing that I learned along the way in my life, and often I say to my younger self, for all of the years of being single, because I met my life partner, Ian, at the age of 43. He's such a beautiful soul and he is full of integrity. But in my 20s and my 30s, he would not have been somebody I was attracted to, sadly, because I was after some incredible, successful guy, right? But those incredible, successful guys really were not good for my sense of self-worth. They were critical, they were judgmental of my weight, of my business, my friendships, and really, ultimately, I wasn't happy, but I just wanted to be loved. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be in a relationship. And it took me a while to really figure it out, that if my feelings of not feeling safe in the relationship, which was pretty much through most of my relationships, there's something not right. And I used to mistake kindness for being a weakness. But now I realize at the ripe old age of 57 that kindness is about integrity. It's about emotional intelligence. So being single is so important and the right journey for you if you're not attracting somebody who's good for your soul. You know, we all have relationships, that we feel maybe right in the beginning and then they decided it's not right. But then, that's famous saying, what's yours to keep, it stays, and if it's not, it never was. So I want you to really trust that if you are single, or maybe you're thinking about getting out of a relationship because you realize that this person's not full of integrity. As I said, nobody's perfect in their relationship. But I want you to really think about attracting somebody into your life. And it doesn't have to be just a partner. It could be good friendships too, where you feel that you are connecting, where you're playing what I call tennis, right? You're both contributing to the love match, okay? It's such a beautiful thing to see a couple that really, you can just feel that energy, you can feel that beautiful connection. So just to finish off on this conversation, if you'd love to subscribe to learn more about how I work with people to improve their sense of self-worth, to find love, to drink less, to eat less, all of those things that I specialize in, because this is my big passion, is to help people feel better about themselves. I would love you to join me on other podcasts and other videos on any of my platforms, because you have an incredible mind. And no matter your history of unhelpful love moments, you have the ability to change that. So if you're single, be proud. If you're single, be strong. If you're single, remember that you don't have to conform because everybody else is in a relationship, okay? Be true to you, because this is what's really, really important. And when you do that, amazing things happen. Oh, and just another top tip. The person that you feel might be right for you, don't think about what they look like. Don't think about what they do. Think about who that person is. Write down a list of all of the things that you know are important for you and your sense of self-worth. Who is going to fit that category? Okay, they may be different shapes and sizes, different money situations in the bank. It's not relevant, because what's incredible is when you decide to be in a relationship that's good for you and you say, I'm going to say goodbye to being single because I've met the right person, it's because they're good for you, okay?